Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today. We've got an incredibly exciting journey ahead of us. We're going to explore the hidden quirks, the baffling anomalies, and honestly, the downright fascinating realities of our universe. Nature is full of wild surprises, and today, we're unpacking some of the most mind-bending facts pulled directly from the natural world.
Okay, let's dive into this. Do you really know the world around you? I mean, we go about our daily lives making all these basic assumptions about how things work, right? How animals behave, how physics operates, even how our solar system functions. But what if I told you that a lot of what feels like common sense is totally upended when you actually look closely at the data?
And that brings us to our thesis for today. From the strange biological oddities of turtle anatomy all the way to the massive, unfathomable cosmic scale, reality is just so much weirder than you think. We're going to start small, looking at the microscopic and the biological, and progressively zoom out until we're staring at the very fabric of the universe.
Section 1. Bizarre Biology. Quirks of the Animal Kingdom.
Nature is absolutely full of rapid-fire weirdness. For instance, some turtles have actually adapted to breathe entirely through their backsides just to survive underwater winters. Think about that. Meanwhile, delicate butterflies totally bypass mouths. They taste the world through their feet the second they land on a surface. But, okay, my absolute favorite has to be the giraffe. A giraffe's tongue can grow up to 20 inches. That's 50 centimeters long. And what do they use this massive thing for? Well, among other things, cleaning their own ears. It's a marvel of highly specific and entirely bizarre evolutionary engineering.
And this brilliantly illustrates how nature solves problems. Consider the octopus. It doesn't just have one heart, it has three. Two of those hearts have one singular job, pumping blood directly to the gills to gather oxygen. Once that's done, a completely separate third heart takes over to pump that freshly oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. It's an absolute masterclass in biological specialization and, honestly, natural redundancy.
But you know, nature's quirks don't stop out in the wild. They're probably sitting right on your kitchen counter. Botanically speaking, bananas are officially classified as berries. Yet the strawberry, which literally has the word berry in its name, is not actually a berry at all. Our everyday naming conventions completely fail to capture the strict, counterintuitive botanical truth about your morning fruit.
Jumping back to the animal kingdom, let's look at the iconic flamingo. We all know them for those vibrant, striking pink feathers, right? Well, they aren't born that way. Flamingos are actually born entirely gray. They only turn pink because of the specific pigments found in their diet. They're the ultimate, literal embodiment of the phrase, "you are what you eat." It's a great reminder that our environments literally shape how we present ourselves to the world. Let's move to and see how this builds into a really fascinating question. How closely does the animal world actually mirror our own human lives? We tend to think of ourselves as entirely separate from the wild animal kingdom, but the lines are way blurrier than we might assume.
Section 2. The Human Connection, Bridging Nature and Ourselves.
Take the humble honeybee, for example. You might think an insect that small operates purely on instinct, just buzzing mindlessly from flower to flower. But incredibly, honeybees have the ability to recognize and remember individual human faces. Yes, you heard that right. This tiny creature can process and pinpoint the specific features that make up a human face, which completely challenges our assumptions about insect intelligence.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the physical resemblance we share with some animals. Take a quick look at your fingertips. Now imagine a koala's. Koalas' fingerprints are so remarkably identical to ours that they have actually confused crime scene investigators. Just imagine the absolute bewilderment of analyzing a crime scene, only to realize the prints you're tracking belong to a eucalyptus-eating marsupial. The biological crossover here is just absolutely astounding.
Speaking of human biology, consider the organ that's processing all of this information right now, your brain. Physically speaking, it seems pretty insignificant. It makes up a mere 2% of your total body weight, compared to the 98% that makes up the rest of you.
So, the crucial point is, don't let that tiny size fool you. Despite being only 2% of our weight, the human brain consumes an astonishing 20% of your body's total energy. It's a perfect example of how evolution prioritized brain power over sheer brawn. The massive contrast between its tiny physical footprint and its incredibly greedy energy demands really highlights just how optimized and intense our own biology is.
So we've explored the bizarre realities of biology, both animal and human. But what happens when nature seems to just break the fundamental rules of physics altogether? What happens when the physical world stops behaving the way we expect it to?
Section 3.
Extremes of nature, when physics breaks the mold. Consider the Mpemba effect. If you want to make ice quickly, logic tells you to start with cold water, right? Well, wrong. The Mpemba effect is this entirely counterintuitive phenomenon where hot water actually freezes faster than cold water. It is a baffling reality that turns everything we intuitively know about temperature completely upside down. It's a pretty humbling reminder that even something as basic as freezing water still holds scientific mysteries. And when nature goes to extremes, it really doesn't hold back. 5 times. A single strike of lightning is about 5 times hotter than the actual surface of our sun. Let that sink in for a second. We look up to the sun as the ultimate source of heat in our solar system. Yet right here in our own atmosphere, a sudden flash of lightning achieves temperatures that completely dwarf the surface of the sun itself. Unbelievable. So, we've gone from the microscopic taste receptors on a butterfly's foot to the blistering heat of a lightning bolt. Are you ready to leave Earth's atmosphere entirely and zoom all the way out to the cosmic scale? Section 4. Deep Time and Cosmic Scale, Expanding Our Horizons.
We often think of dinosaurs as the ultimate ancient creatures, right? But the timeline of Earth is so much older than that. Sharks have actually existed for over 400 million years. To put that into perspective, they were swimming in Earth's oceans millions of years before the very first dinosaur ever took a step on land. The sheer longevity of their design is just a massive testament to deep evolutionary time.
Now, let's talk about our current place in the universe. 67,000. You might feel like you're sitting perfectly still right now, watching this explainer. But you aren't. The Earth is currently traveling around the Sun at a dizzying speed of about 67,000 miles per hour. That's roughly 107,000 kilometers per hour right now. We are all passengers on a rock hurtling through space at just unimaginable velocities.
And while we're flowing through space, the system around us is slowly, constantly changing. We look up at the moon and just kind of assume it's a fixed object in our night sky. But the reality is, the moon is drifting about 3.8 centimeters, or an inch and a half, further away from Earth every single year. Our solar system isn't some frozen painting. It's a highly dynamic, ever-changing cosmic dance.
To bring our journey to a close, let's juxtapose the micro and the macro one final time. Think about all the beaches on Earth. Think about picking up just one handful of sand and trying to count the grains. Now, compare all the grains of sand on every beach across the entire globe to the number of stars in the observable universe. The reality? There are literally more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. It's a fact that is both deeply humbling and absolutely awe-inspiring. Which leaves us with one final thought. In a universe this vast and bizarre, where octopuses have 3 hearts, lightning outheats the sun, and the stars outnumber the grains of sand, what other everyday assumptions are just waiting to be challenged? The next time you step outside, remember that there is always more to learn, and the universe is always wilder than it appears. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.